A lot of people thinking the reason why the Eagles are stacking a win last night is because a zebra, not one from the Philadelphia Zoo, popped up his head and said, hold on a second. That third down play with the game essentially on the line because the Lions could get the ball back with an opportunity to tie the game, if not go ahead and try and win it with a 2-point conversion. To use a Magic Johnson phrase, that's not going to be here. That opportunity to see the end of the game, not going to be here. Because a flag on the play on a third down, A.J. Brown locked up with Rock Yassin. One-on-one, and it sure looked like some good tight coverage, tight enough to have either way of looking at it being possible, that A.J. Brown also shoved off on good old Rock. And it looked like Rock beat the Brown paper scissors. But in comes a flag, pass interference, and rightfully, Chris Collinsworth and the NBC booth calls it absolutely terrible. I thought the same thing. And after the game, this is what the head coach of the Lions had to say about it.
I thought he played defense like he did the whole game, man. I thought he challenged, and played it like he did the very first rep. That we played man-to-man. So I wouldn't tell him to do anything different, man. Get up there and challenge, play your style, and that's it.
And I will say here in advance of showing you what Alex Kemp, the head official, said in a pool question report, that Rod Woodson, once upon a time, told me when things were starting off, but with the two of us on NFL Total Access on NFL Network way back in the day, over 2 decades ago, that when he played for future Hall of Fame head coach Chuck Noll in the Steelers locker room, Chuck Noll would tell the players either in the pregame meeting or speech, whatever, he would essentially tell the guys, at some point during this game, the refs are going to screw something up. And it's going to cost us. But if we play well enough, it won't cost us. So the phrase that he always said, and I always think of in moments like this, play better than the ref's ref. Yes. The Lions, make one of your 5 fourth down attempts. Don't go 0 for 5. Don't miss a field goal despite the wind blowing all over the place. Play better. And you won't have it come down to needing that third down stop that the Eagles wound up prevailing on because of a flag. And Eagles fans will point out, cry us a river about not having an opportunity to tie a game due to a flag of a questionable call, because we couldn't have an opportunity in a Super Bowl that we lost to the Chiefs. And I said after that game too, don't like the call, play better than the ref's ref. And the Lions didn't at the end of the day. But it's tough to swallow when folks on the East Coast are keeping their eyes open to try and see how this game ends. For those of us who hosted pregame shows that started at 4 in the morning on the Pacific Coast, it's tough to stay up to watch the end of this game, only to have it end that way, instead of watching the Lions go down the field to try and tie the game, or have it end on a, more likely than not, Dan Campbell swipe at a 2-point conversion attempt to win the game with no time left. But instead, it's like, oh, that's pass interference? Really? You're going to call that? Alex Kemp, the head official, in a pool report. Question. About the 3rd and 8 play with 1:51 to go. Why is there pass interference on the play? The official observed the receiver's arm getting grabbed and restricting him from going up to make the catch. So the ball was in the air. There was a grab at the arm, restricted him, and he called defensive pass interference. Had maybe that official been looking at it from the front side, you'd have seen A.J. Brown extending his arms, which you probably could have seen from the other side too. Or you just don't throw the flag. Now, Chris, go ahead and ask what you asked in Overreaction Monday. We can unpack it here a little bit, too. This is the first item up for bids in Overreaction Monday.
Yeah, sure. I think it's time when something is so obviously wrong called on the field, there has to be a sky judge to buzz in and be like, yo, that's wrong. Overturn it. It's time. It's the argument that you talked about before. If it happens in a huge game, you got to do something about it. Well, Sunday Night Football with the defending Super Bowl champions is a pretty big game. And going back even further to when instant replay got instituted, if we can see it at home and it's so obvious, then they got to get it right on the field.
Well, the problem is we've been down that road before. And that there was a game bigger than a Sunday night Week 11 game between two terrific teams that are vying for a championship. There was two terrific teams vying for an NFC championship in New Orleans, and we saw how brutal that was, and it instituted a well-intentioned rule change that we're going to replay pass interference. And the problem with pass interference is it's all subjective, all of it. One official sees defensive pass interference. I saw offensive pass interference if there's anything. As I mentioned in the podcast, I'll repeat it here. Let's just say you're in a museum looking at a piece of art. You're a cultured man, TJ.
I've been around the world.
I'm a cultured man. You guys stay out of it.
Hey. Whoa. Throwing shade at me and Brockman? For what?
Come on, Mike.
You interpret the painting one way. Mm-hmm. I interpret another way.
Like two dogs and one's looking this way.
I'll use your analogy too, Chris. And it's something like the end of Shawshank Redemption.
Oh.
Some people see a beautiful moment in Zihuatanejo.
Of course.
I see a dream sequence.
Oh.
You look at Die Hard.
Oh.
It's that time of year.
Oh, I watched it over the weekend.
I bet you did.
Christmas movie.
Because people view it as a Christmas movie.
Well, they do, right?
I view it as an action movie that happens to take place during Christmas.
Both things can be true.
Same thing as pass interference, which is why it can't be reviewable. In the World Series ending, either Will Smith's toe was on that home plate as IKF came sliding in with his foot, or it wasn't. It's not like an interpretation was Will Smith blocking the plate, and when is he blocking the plate, and what constitutes blocking the plate, and when is his foot down, when does this guy slide in. This moment was 100% reviewable because a foot is in or it's not. And if you can't view it, you got to stay with the ruling on the field, and everyone will understand it. But at one point, you want to talk about big moment, the entire World Series and baseball season was in the replay machine. And if it came out a certain way, you'd be like, I can see it. Instant replay ain't that. And hopefully we'll never go back to it. If you remember when the season when instant replay was reviewable, NFL coaches stopped asking for it because it came back with one big shrug emoji every time. So there will always be human error. And at the end of the day, you got to play better than the ref's ref. And the Detroit Lions are now sitting in third place because they couldn't convert on fourth downs. They dropped too many passes. Goff was harassed too many times, couldn't be protected enough. Maybe they didn't go to Jahmyr Gibbs enough. We will see how Dan Campbell, maybe potentially, unless it doesn't happen in the state of Michigan. Hey, the play calling worked the first time you did it. The second time, not so much. Or is it the Philadelphia Eagles are just that damn good? And at the end of the day, if the Detroit Lions need to make the playoffs, it won't be as division winners. Or, wait for it, they wind up going into Chicago when they visit them in the final game of the year. Stop me if you've heard this one before, where a team either wins the division or makes the playoffs another way or misses them entirely. That reeks of if you smell it right now, the final game of the year on NBC, potentially. They sweep the Lions, the Lions sweep the Bears, and off they go. And the Lions, as always, because the NFC North plays the AFC North, and they got a first-place schedule, they just have a ton of big games. Next up for them is Jameis Winston in their house before they have a Thanksgiving game against Green Bay, which is going to be huge, before they go and have Dallas come in a week after Thanksgiving, and they're all on a full complement of rest before they come on and take on the Rams. Home for Pittsburgh, who maybe has Aaron Rodgers fresh out of a cast, or before they visit Minnesota and Chicago to finish things out? Division's not gone. Conference isn't gone. Unless you think they got to be one better than the Eagles and the current sniffing at Lions at 8th and out of the playoff picture. If the playoffs started today, they now need to be a game better than the Eagles, and good luck to see if the Eagles lose 3 more times this year, not only because they have a great defense, and at some point they'll find a way on offense, but also, last I heard, other teams are playing not to lose, and the Eagles play to win.
Breaking news.
As I just heard. Conference may be gone for the Lions. Division's not. We'll see what happens at the end of the day, but I understand Lions fans, you feel robbed. Play better. And then on top of it, I feel robbed as a viewer. Man, I wanted to see the Lions get that ball back and maybe go for 2 at the end. Now, that would have been a way for us to start today's show rather than a pool report answer, which was unsatisfactory to say the least. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.